All right, and welcome into Keep It About Ball after a day off. It was a pretty slow day, news-wise yesterday, and your boy was worn out from slanging that caramel with a bunch of mouth breathers. Uh, that's here nor there. Today, oh yes, today we are back and ready to get back into all that's happened the last couple days. Before we do that, please make sure you go like and subscribe, drop a review or a comment. That's the best way to help the show grow within the algorithm. So please help your boy out. With that, let's go ahead and get into it. First off, going to start with the Pro Bowl being eliminated. Kind of bittersweet, thinking about the days like the Mannings, the Mosses, and the McNabbs playing in the Pro Bowl. But as fun of a product as it was. I think part of looking back at it, what it really was is we were just kids, and it was a lot more enjoyable then. I don't really think it was. It was better, but it still wasn't like it was great football to watch. Um, and that's for like the people in my age range, which is like 31 ish. So those of us right there, we kind of had it lucky growing up too. I think beforehand the Pro Bowl wasn't really what it was then. We kind of got it at its peak, and it probably will just never be that good. And I do think it's good for the fact that we're not going to get a Shadur Sanders, in the Pro Bowl, because that's ridiculous. After playing 6 games and being shitty in all of them, getting a free trip down to Hawaii via hand me down, it's just no more of that. It's gonna be like you get the Pro Bowl nod, it's an honor, you move on, you don't got to worry about declining, going to the stupid game, whatever. I kind of get that. I do think it would be fun though if they did like some kind of like off season meetup. Um, Kind of like akin in a way to the tournament that the NBA does, and not really have it have like any in season. Uh, what's the word? Uh, I'm really blanking on that word right now. But implications. No in season implications, but like a chance for dudes to come in the skills challenge, throw the ball around, compete for a few $100,000. I bet a bunch of rookies would come and do it. You get some of the older guys out there, and I think if you brought in some of the old dudes, and don't just throw them into a bracket to compete against all the retired dudes, that's cool and all, but we don't really want to watch that unless you're getting like the best of the best in there. I'd say just go ahead and throw them into the bracket with the other dudes. Give them a chance to, win the money. And if they want to have like a consolation bet bracket too, that's fine. But I'd say give the retired dudes a chance to come compete in it as well, and just kind of make it like a NFL alumni skills event thing that you win a little bit of money for. And now the league's too cheap to ever do that. That if you win, you come, they pay out. Like that's gonna happen. But I just think that'd be kind of a cool way to keep something going in the off season, because some of those drills are a little fun, and maybe bring in some of the dudes, like I said, dudes like 30, 31 like me that would love to see like the McNabbs, if his health would allow, a Randy Moss. I know he's doing better than he was, so maybe he, get out there and do some kind of fun challenge. I don't know, that might be a stretch. I'm not sure where he's at right now. Or even get Peyton out there. Just set up a bunch of targets 10 yards away so he doesn't got to hurt himself trying to throw it too far down the field. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Um, but that's probably kind of a pipe dream. But anyways, the Packers are signing Johnny Smith. I think this is kind of somewhat of a big deal. Not massive, obviously. We all thought we were finally getting concentrated targets to, like Watson, Kraft, and depending on who you are, Jaden Reed or Matthew Golden. But I was pretty high on Jaden Reed going into the year, and I was actually thinking about doing a sleeper episode on him. Now I'm not so sure. Uh, they work in similar parts of the field, Reed and Smith. Short area targets, quick area stuff, or quick timing stuff. Different roles, but I still think it's going to put a dent into his targets. And for Kraft, I think it makes you wonder if they're going to kind of ease him in a little slower than maybe a lot of us had hoped initially. Maybe he misses a few games. We'll see. Looking at the depth chart here, Luke Musgrave isn't playing. I was about to say you have him, but you don't. He's gone. Um, I mean, there's still room to absolutely, even if Johnny does come in and get some targets, just because so many got vacated between Romeo Dobbs and um, blanking on the other Packers receiver that left this offseason. Um, but I just feel like this could really be a detriment to Jaden Reed, and also, of course, Tucker Kraft, especially early in the year. Uh, I could I could see him taking more Jonnu taking more snaps early in the year until Tucker is healthy, and then kind of then put once he is healthy, put him more into that traditional tight end role because he's a good blocker too, and then move Jonnu around the field into different spots and kind of do different stuff with him, and that's where it would be really concerning for me with Jaden Reed. And why I'm probably gonna not try to buy him. I was really getting ready to go start getting after him in some of these leagues, but I think now this will probably slow that roll. Um, Sticking with the Packers, Josh Jacobs has been charged with misdemeanor battery and damage to property. He doesn't play for the Chiefs, so I'm guessing he'll get like an 8-game suspension or some shit like that. Or I don't know, if I'm not mistaken, it is a woman that is involved in the battery. So if we factor in that logic and do the math right by the NFL standard, I think that means he's going to be Player of the Week 1. I don't know. Marshawn Lloyd probably got hurt. Thinking about playing him. I don't know. He's probably tweaking something right now as you're listening to the pod. Marshawn Lloyd's probably somewhere tweaking a hamstring. Um, and I'm not sure Chris Brooks is who you want starting for you week 1 if something were to happen with Josh Jacobs. Even in a flex spot, I don't think you'd want Chris Brooks. I know nothing has come down from the league yet, and honestly, probably won't at all. If anything at all, it'll probably be next year because the court date's probably going to get pushed back, and they're going to wait for it all to subside. So if anything, I think it'll probably be next year before Josh Jacobs sees a suspension as close to the season as it is. So it just everything feels pretty gross for me with the Packers right now. I was really excited about maybe trying to get some of these guys this year, but right now it's just the Packers are just kind of looking at a stay away from me. Especially Reed, I was pretty excited about, but he's definitely a stay away right now. The Dolphins traded Tutu Atwell back to the Rams in exchange for Jarquez Hunter. I think this deal kind of means a bit more than some might realize for both sides. Tutu is still only 27, and as familiar with any of the receivers in that room right now with Sean McVay's offense, other than Puka, and maybe even Devontae Adams. Now, if I'm not mistaken, LaFleur is a McVay guy. He played with him for a little while, so maybe there's a little bit of knowledge on it. But Tutu, I mean, he grew up and grew up in that offense. You know what I'm saying? So, I think this means quite a bit, especially between Puka, being hurt, saying whatever it was about Jews at the beginning of the offseason, and now he's hurt and biting people, whatever it is, with this dude. Like, I'm going to guess this dude misses at least a handful of games this year, maybe like 2 to 3, 4. It could be more. I'd probably say like 2 to 3 this year. And in those games, the starting 3 receivers is going to be Devontae, of course. I would project Tutu Atwell, Jordan Whittington, and some Kanata Mumfield mixing in there. Now, obviously, they're a team that's going to, get into the heavier personnel and whatever. Colby Parkinson is a dude that's been getting some camp hype and has been getting used like all over the field in different roles. If Puka misses significant time, and honestly, even if he doesn't, I really think Parkinson could be number 3 in targets on this team. Excuse me, I've got to get some water here. Holy crap. I think it would make a lot of sense for the Rams. Right now, if they expect Puka to be out for a while, which I have not actually. Let's pull up the most recent on Puka here and see what's going on. Always put -AI after your Google searches. Give you the old school Google, and you don't have to have the answer spoon fed to you like a baby. You can do a little research. We're all grown adults. But we're going to keep it about ball. I'm not seeing... Still no practice. Let's see what Yahoo has to say right here. The Rams have boasted football's most exciting passing attack a year ago, and the production of... That in mind. Sean McVay says Puka still has soreness in his piso. I don't know. I barely graduated Kansas public school. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Um, Anytime you're talking about soft tissue, especially with a skilled player, we're going to err on the side of caution while not minimizing how important it is to get those guys out there. With the regular season opener getting closer day by day, Nakua's in danger of sitting out real games. Okay, no, they're asking. If he's still it's looking like he's just doing side workouts on the field. We're how many days away from the season starting now? I think it's less than 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, right? What is today's date? We have this right here, August 28th, 26th. Yeah, we're like 9 days away. So, probably about 2 weeks away from when they play. Because I don't think they play in the opener. I'm gonna count on him probably missing at least the opener. Good chance to miss the second game. Probably doesn't miss the third game unless there's a setback or they're not telling us anything. Now over to the Dolphins side for this trade, though. This is interesting because obviously this is Devon Achane's background, and Jarquez Hunter is not coming in here to throw any kind of wrench into that. But these backups, Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon, I feel like have both been pretty somewhat coveted. Jalen Wright's kind of pulled away, I would say, within the last year's time or so, maybe a little less actually, probably within like the last 8-9 months or so, especially during the season. But Ollie Gordon was still hanging around, and a guy that it felt like the team still liked, and a lot of people still had a lot of hope for. So for them to go trade for another backup running back and add another guy, let me see. I would like to see all the running backs on this Dolphins roster right now. For what this does for me, though, is I feel like if you're an Achane guy and you're wanting to handcuff him, or if you're just a Jalen Wright and wanting to handcuff Devon Achane in case something happens with one of your late round picks, whatever the case may be, I think this kind of should maybe give you some pause for concern, Skip, and consider, like, if something happens to him, this probably isn't going to be. Let me get this pulled up. If something happens to him, it's probably not going to just be a Jalen Wright show. It's probably going to be a massive. Just a massive timeshare between all three. Jalen Wright would probably lead the way, but I don't see why they would give up an asset in Tutu for like a second, third string running back unless they had some kind of plan for him. Let's see here. This is from the Dolphins website. Okay, so on the roster right now is Ollie Gordon, Jalen Wright, Devon Achane, Anthony Hankerson, DJ Herman, Donovan Edwards, Carlos Washington Jr., and their running backs coach is Liddell Betts. And now you just had Jarquez. I mean, obviously I don't. Oh, DJ Herman's the fullback, so we're not really counting him. So Hankerson, Donovan Edwards, and Carlos Washington Jr. looking like the three potential odd men out. If I had to guess one of those dudes sticking around, I'm going to say Donovan Edwards, just because he's kind of floating around the league right now as one of those guys. And I feel like these other two guys are probably just practice squad guys at best. So I don't know. I just feel like it might not be a huge deal, but if you were considering handcuffing with this team, which I don't get why, of all teams to throw a handcuff in, you're like, yeah, this is the offense that if something goes wrong, I want to be there to swoop up and eat the slop. I don't. It's a bold strategy, and maybe I don't. It sounds gross to me. But I think if that's what you were doing, it should throw a wrench in that probably, and probably makes me. I'm gonna guess in both dynasty and redraft this year that you should probably just be moving off Jalen Wright and trying to get whatever you can for him. If it's redraft, I mean, you're not getting anything. You kind of got to cut him. You can probably go look to pick someone else up that you think might have a chance to do something, a different dart throw. In Dynasty, let's see how old Jalen Wright is right now. I hate that ESPN.com does not tell you how old they are. Shout out Pro Football Reference. I'm pretty sure they do. Not seeing it. Absolute madness. Absolute madness. Oh, hear the train in the background. How old is Jalen Wright? 23. Yeah, he's still pretty young. I don't know. I mean, if you're a rebuilder, he's probably worth hanging on to, I suppose, and seeing, because something might come up there. But otherwise, I think it's kind of pointless. I think you probably move on. Moving on, I did want to mention that Cedric Tillman got cut, and I meant to say when we were talking about the Rams that I think it would kind of make sense for him to sign there. I also think it would make sense for him to sign with Miami, who is very receiver inept right now. Actually, it would probably make a lot more sense for him to go to a place like Miami on a cheap deal. Maybe they can get him locked in 2-3 years on a cheap deal. That would be smart football for them, but it's Miami, so that probably won't happen. Moving on, the NFL.com released players 10 through 7 on the top 100 list. Those guys are Pat Surtain, Jahmyr Gibbs, Micah Parsons, and Puka in that order. I think Gibbs at 9 when you're considering all the positions on the list. Let me pull it up here. We're going to look at the top 30 here in a second. But let's just even look at the top 15. I think there's some guys you could maybe argue here. Jamar Chase, I would probably he's at 16. I would probably put him over Jahmyr Gibbs. Probably not quite. Trey McBride. Will Anderson's getting close. You know I'm going to put my boy Drake May over him, but that's just me being a homer, and I can say that. I would probably put Pat Surtain over him, too. Pat Surtain is one of none at that position. I mean, you don't get any better than him, and yeah, I mean, it just at one of the hardest positions on the field, too. I definitely think he's got a case to be above that. Jahmyr Gibbs, ahead of Jahmyr Gibbs, who's not even, the best at his own position and not expected to be, even actually listed at the third best. He's the third best at his own position right here. Because as you see on the list here, still to be named is Christian McCaffrey and Bijan Robinson. Also on that list, Matthew Stafford, JSN, Myles Garrett, and Josh Allen. So I thought that was a little interesting, but I'm not going to argue with it. I don't think it's a bad spot for him. I don't think it's like a bad take or whatever. Just a couple of guys I would have maybe swapped. And I'm not sure. Need more water again. Hang on. If this is just based off last year and not just kind of overall, then I get it too, because he was so good last year. And last year was as good as Jamar Chase was, still a bit of a down year for him. So I can understand that. One last thing I did want to touch on here, because I saw my guy Christian Gonzalez down here. I think he was number 28, up 56 spots. I saw the report the other day the Patriots don't want to give him Devin Witherspoon money. What are we doing, Elliot? You don't want to pay? You don't want to pay the best, like the best player? Starting last year, he was the best player on your team. Like, not close. It's only because Drake's massive ascension that he's not now. And you could argue he's still the second best player on the team. I would probably contend that Christian Gonzalez is a better overall football player than A.J. Brown. I don't think that's a crazy take. Christian Gonzalez is really fucking good. And still really young and ascending, and could, I think, in 2-3 years, especially, maybe Pat Surtain, slows down a hair or something. Who do we got? Derek Stingley. I mean, he'll be in the mix, of course. Actually, how old is Derek Stingley? I'm not sure how old he is. He's not very old. He's still pretty young, I'm pretty sure. 2001. He's 25. Just turned 25. Yeah, he's still young as shit. Um, so I mean, it's you're looking at like Derek Stingley, Christian Gonzalez. I think in like 2 years. I don't think I'm forgetting anyone else. Pat Surtain. Let me see how old Pat Surtain is. In cornerback is one of those positions that sometimes you can just get passed by really quick. Okay, and he's only 26, so he'll still only be 28. So it's hard to say he won't still be the best corner in the league in like 2, 3 years, 28, 29. But at that point, Christian Gonzalez is going to be entering his prime. Pat Surtain might be a year past it, but still like elite, elite, elite. He's going to have a good chance to flirt with being the best cornerback in the league. And not only that, being a top 5 defender in the league. Like, what are Pat Surtain's ranked like? What, like, how many want Micah and Myles Garrett ranked ahead of him? That's his peers are ranking him as the third best defender in the entire league, and I don't think it's a hot take to say that that's within Christian Gonzalez's potential. And he's just not the kind of guy that you let go. He was the one bright spot of the Super Bowl last year. The kind of guy that you can just say, hey, you got this guy. It doesn't matter if it's the best receiver on the team, who it is. He's locking that guy up that day. And it gives you such a freedom as a for your defensive coordinator to be able, because this isn't like the coordinator that's doing this, but you're really screwing your coordinator because a guy like Gonzalez is such an advantage to have on the field. Now, he's still under contract for like 2 years, and he got the franchise tag and all that shit. I hope it doesn't come to all that. I just don't see why you don't lock him up now and pay him the Stingley money, because next year there's going to be dudes coming out. I'm pretty sure Quinyon Mitchell, and then there's another dude that's going to need to get paid. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head. There's another cornerback. I was listening to someone talk about this. Just go ahead and get ahead of it, dude, because it's going to happen, and the price is just going to keep going up and going up and going up. And when you do it, you're gonna have to make him the highest paid cornerback. There's gonna be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Otherwise, he's leaving and he gone. He that boy gone. Shit, he might already be gone now. I'd feel pretty disrespected if I were Christian Gonzalez, and this is coming from a Patriots fan. Quickly looking at some of this top 30 here: Aiden Hutchinson, Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter at 29. That's up 14 spots. He's a really I think a little underrated. I think he's getting to be the. Obviously, he's kind of like properly rated by like his peers, but as far as just like casual fans and everything, I don't think he's like a household name yet, and I think he might become one. I could be wrong on that. Maybe he is. Devin Lloyd up here. Nice to see him getting some recognition. He can be a little underrated by just more casual fans and mainstream fans. I got Max Crosby at 24, just ahead of Derek Stingley. Then Daniil Hunter, Amon-Ra at 22. Sam Darnold ahead of Amon-Ra. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. Sam is an okay quarterback, but he is. Hold up. We need to count how many quarterbacks are listed here ahead of Sam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. That's cap. I want to question the whole validity of this now. Sam Darnold at 21, the 5th best quarterback. Even if you're just going last year, I mean, what's the criteria? I mean, I guess I'm looking here on the right, and I guess it is showing that it is factoring that he's a Super Bowl champion, factoring that into the criteria. Sure, but if we're talking about just like pure quarterback playing the game, his stats are okay. 25 passing touchdowns. It's not like he's not what led the team to the Super Bowl. That defense led the team to the Super Bowl. JSN and that running back duo and that awesome coaching room led that team to a Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I know I sound like a total hater, Brady and Reed will tell me I'm a hater, and everyone else will tell me I'm a hater because I don't think Sam Darnold's really that great. I still think he's pretty average, just in a really incredible situation, and he capitalized. And you know what? Good for him because he made some big plays when it mattered, and he did, and I'll take that from him. And it's nice that he did that because when obviously previously in his career he wasn't doing that. He was doing quite the opposite. But I still don't think I'm putting him even last year as like the fifth best quarterback. Like what quarterbacks do we have listed below him here? Uh, Dak, if we're going off last year, I mean that's fair. I mean, had 5 more passing touchdowns, 500 more passing yards. What's the rushing difference here? Do they have? Does it say 95 rushing yards? He and had more rushing yards. I was a Pro Bowler. I mean, what are we talking about here? Um, Jared Goff, 500 more yards, like touchdowns. Uh, I mean, I just Sam Darnold is a fun story, but the love has gotten out of hand. This isn't a sport of love. I need someone to put a hat on Sam Darnold this season, week 1. I need someone to put a hat on that dude. You know what I'm saying? I need someone to lay him out. Uh, not like a helmet's kind of deal, but you know, let's get him a little shook up, you know, kind of thinking while he's out there, and yeah, I don't know. I'm probably getting a little carried away here. Let's just see it. Let's just see it. Let's just see it. Anyways, I think that's probably about all I'll go through on this list here for tonight. We can kind of move forward. I'm gonna take a quick break, and then I'm actually gonna come back and jump into the preseason and maybe a little bit of MLB. Be right back. Uh-oh, how do I pause the live? Damn. Well, I guess we're not pausing the live. That's fine. All right, and we are back. Gonna get into this NFL preseason tonight. The Buffalo Bills did beat the Steelers 28-7. Drew Aller, 9 of 18, 88 yards. Will Howard, 9 of 15, 69 nice yards. 2 touchdowns and an interception. Looking at the running back room, gosh, Caleb Johnson fucking sucks, dude. If you drafted him, you're a retard. I'm sorry. 5 carries for 11 yards against backups. Yeah, that dude is probably donezo. Over here on the Buffalo side, Josh Allen, of course, did not play. Shane Buchalale, I don't know what his name is. 196 yards, 26 of 38, not bad. 3 sacks though, no touchdowns, no picks. Rushing the ball, Frank Gore Jr. A lot of Frank Gore Jr. and Ian Wheeler. Frank Gore, 10 carries for 27 yards and a touchdown. Skyler Bell had a 28-yard carry for a touchdown as well. Ian Wheeler also had a touchdown. So, I wonder where their 4th touchdown came from. I wonder if it was special teams or defensive. I don't see a defensive. Oh, that's receiving. Let's see. Huh. Alrighty, well, we'll go ahead and move on to the next game, which was the Browns whooping up on my Patriots 37-13. Oh, gosh, I feel like I had a take for this game. Oh, yeah, Dylan Gabriel, 12 of 15, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 186 yards. Not bad. I mean, I know it's against backups, but, I mean, What Shadur do this preseason? Taylor Green, 5 of 7, 27 yards, not bad. Start him. Let's get it going. Yeah, if you're serious about this rebuild, start Taylor Green, honestly, because he's either gonna save your franchise or he's gonna get you the #1 pick, which might save your franchise. So he might just be the franchise savior. You heard it here first. Taylor Green, Brown savior. All right, don't clip that. Not that anybody clips anything I have to fucking say. Hassan Haskins led the way in carries, 11 for 38 yards for the Patriots. Looks like Taylor Green led rushing for the. Go ahead, clip it. Taylor Green 8 carries for 66 yards, along a 30. Yeah, leading the way. Yeah, clip it. Yeah, Brown savior right there. Okay. Anything super interesting here? I don't think so. I do think if you're the Browns, like fuck it, go ahead and start Gabriel. I mean, he's gonna at some point anyway this offseason. What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, got a couple more games here. The 49ers at the Raiders. I feel like I also had something on this game that I wanted to make mention of. My guy, Mac Jones. Ever since I dropped that pod, every time I look, he's not doing very good. 1 of 5, 7 yards. Not great. Fernando Mendoza, 7 of 14, 57 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. Kirk Cousins, 8 of 11, 51 yards. Aiden O'Connell, 3 of 9, 32 yards. Jacob Clark, 1 of 2 for 18 yards. I think what I wanted to make the point of on here was, if I'm not mistaken, I do not think that pick was Mendoza's fault. I think it hit his guy in the hands, if I'm not mistaken. I think it hit Jalen Naylor. I could be wrong. I think it hit Jalen Naylor in the hands and kind of bounced. Or no. I'm thinking of the Patriots game where I'm thinking of the Patriots game. It's some practice squad dude. Definitely now. Dude turned to like block mid route and then was getting the ball thrown to him and it bounced off his leg and he got picked off. So whoever threw that pick, that wasn't their fault. In the last game, I don't know if I mentioned it at all. So Mendoza's interception could have totally been his fault. I'm not sure. Khalil Herbert and Jordan James leading the way in rushing attempts for the 49ers. Both get 8 attempts for 39 and 35 yards. Kalen Black, 4 attempts, 28 yards. Obviously, the much more efficient. All of them, he actually had the shortest run of the running backs tonight, though. Jordan James had a 17 and a 16. Kalen's was 14. Jordan Watkins had 3 carries for 27 yards, one of them 19. So that's interesting. Mike Washington Jr., the GOAT, 8 carries, 49 yards. Love to see it. You love to see that shit. Start that, man. Let's go. That Raiders savior for sure. You know, I really hope he doesn't end up like the last Razorbacks running back, highly touted Razorbacks running back to go to Oakland, or to the Raiders, I should say. Probably about it for this game. Let's move on to the last one, which is was it the Rams at the Chargers? It was the Rams at the Chargers. The Rams win 20-18, give up their first touchdown of this preseason, and that was to Quentin Johnston. It was Justin Herbert to Quentin Johnston on a 65-yard bomb. Justin Herbert 2 of 3, 74 yards. So that was most of it right there. DJ Ugalele, 11 of 18, 141 yards, 3 sacks for 20 yards. Trey Lance 0 of 2, no yards, of course. Ty Simpson 18 of 23, nice. That's pretty efficient. 119 yards and a touchdown, no picks. Matthew Caldwell 5 of 10, 31 yards and a touchdown. If you had any hope left for Stetson Bennett, probably time to bury that. Sorry if I'm the one that has to tell you that, but not really. It's time to bury that. If you still had any hope, probably not happening. Is Jimmy Garoppolo still on this roster? Like what are we doing here? Like who? Is he even on a roster? I don't even know what's up with Jimmy Garoppolo these days. I remember when the NFL media would not shut the fuck up about that dude. Okay, no, so Stetson's listed as the certified backup right now, so never mind. Maybe it's time to not bury that dude. I thought maybe he was just getting buried. Okay. 181 yards this preseason. 61.3 completion percentage. Okay, 19 or 31. So he's gotten some reps. Interesting. I would probably still go ahead and bury him. He's probably a career backup at best. It might give you a spike game here or there. Probably won't be one you're ready to start him for. Gosh, do we have anything else? I don't think so. Let me double check here. I think that's going to do it for tonight, guys. I think we can go ahead and wrap up there. It's been a pretty good episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. That's what really helps is the comments and the reviews. That gets the algorithm going. It helps the pod grow a lot. So please do that. If you're able to and you're really feeling generous, please go check out the affiliates. Use promo code ZBR12 at checkout to get yourself a discount. And of course, never forget, nothing changes if nothing changes. See you guys.